Morning, it's Mike Montgomery here in the study. It's January 3rd of 2017. And we're thinking, of course, about New Year's resolutions. We're thinking about setting goals for 2017. We can be thinking about things that worry us and have us frustrated. I wanted to focus this morning on what we can control and what we can control. In Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he mentions the area of influence and an area of concern, and kind of modifying that idea this morning on this little diagram I've drawn for you. You see there's 3 areas here that we can focus our lives into. First off, this is the area that concerns me. This is what I can do. If you're a mom this morning, this is cleaning the house or changing diapers or going to work or making sure the kids get to practices or whatever it is they've got to do today. You're laboring around with all the routines. I don't know what your routine is. If you're driving a truck today, yours is watching the traffic around you. It's doing all those things. It's the area that we can control. It's our influences. Dads, it's leading our families like we're supposed to be and being the example we're supposed to be doing. Then this is all of mankind's influence. This is everything that mankind can do as a whole, from nuclear fission down to cutting our grass on a weekly basis. And then, of course, the paper not being able to demonstrate it, but this is God's concern. This is infinity. This is eternity. This is everything. This is all of creation, the universe. It's all in God's control. Now, here's what I want you to notice, is that everything that concerns you and concerns mankind is under God's influence and control. Nothing that comes into my life today is going to be outside of His influence or control. Now, what I'm called to do is to not spend my time worried about what other men do, but spending my time worried about what God's giving me to do, and focusing on my area of influence and doing well what God's given me to do. I could spend all of my day worried about, my neighbors, or worried about my friends, and worried about who doesn't do what I want them to do, or who doesn't say things at work that I want them to say. And that is not going to change my world one bit, because I cannot control those things. I must do what God has given me to do, and then let God be in control of the outcome. And so my responsibility is to exercise my influence inside this area here today. And whatever that looks like for you, it's the routines of life that we do. And what we need to understand is that the routines of life do affect eternity. You think of a young lady named Ruth. Ruth comes to a foreign country. She'd never been there before. She follows her mother-in-law, decided to take on a new religion. In her mind, probably at that time, it was a religion. But she's come into that country now, foreigner, no resources, no money, no connections. And she gets up the morning after they get there, and Naomi says, "What are you going to do?" She said, "Well, I can't do a whole lot, but I can go reap in the field." And she went and reaped in the field. She went out to the field and she labored all day long. She did what she could do. And what we see is that even though she was an unknown foreigner in that country, God had a divine plan, because Ruth's life, no matter how obscure, was still under God's control. We look at the book of Ruth. There is no kings. There is no fighting. There's no battles. There's no war. There's no coup. There's no miracles. None of that takes place in the book of Ruth. But what does take place is a lady doing what she can do and letting God be God, and how God orchestrated the events of her day and brought it all to pass. Now, you can spend your time worrying about what you can control, or you can get up this morning and get at what God's put in your hand to do, and do it with all your might. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow morning here in the study. Thanks.